Thank you, Teemu, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to be part of this conference and letting me give an insight of our work of the environmental friendly travel and about our plans on CO2 reporting. My name is Mr. Harri Tamminen and I am the head of the Freight Business Department at Viking Line. I have divided my presentation into 3 different parts. Firstly, I will talk about our company Viking Line. Then I will show some light into the environmental work we have done and are currently doing. And then last but not least, tell you a bit about the carbon dioxide reporting, which we are planning to introduce to our clients. Viking Line AB was established on the initiative of Captain Gunnar Eglund from Åland. Mr. Eglund standing in this picture together with Captain Lindholm. The first ship SS Viking began operating Galtby in Finland via Mariehamn to Gräddö in Sweden in 1959. In early 60s, one could, for the first time, drive the car on board. Previously, cars had to be winched on board. It was a beginning of a new era. We have currently regular traffic on routes between Sweden, Finland and Estonia, combining the passenger travel and the freight transports. This traffic is supplemented seasonally with special cruises to several attractive destinations as well as theme cruises with special programs on board for the passenger travel. We operate today with 7 vessels, which of 5 is flying the Finnish flag, 1 Swedish flag and 1 Estonian flag. Our mission is to connect the countries around the northern Baltic Sea by providing sustainable and regular ferry service for everyone. Our unique expertise in combining cruises, passenger travel and cargo transport generate both customer and business benefits. In this picture, you can see official figures about the financial year of 2021, last year in other words, which was heavily affected by the corona pandemic. During more normal year, or at least before the pandemic, our figures were a little bit different. For example, the revenue was around 500 million euros and the number of passengers were around 6 million. Here you can see the combined volume figures which we have had during our 63 years of business. Impressive figures, aren't they? Now let's change to our environmental work, which is very close to our hearts and it is of great importance to our company. We have since 2016 published a sustainability report which also can be found on our homepage. Our sustainability report serves as a channel for communication to our stakeholders. In the report, we have put together the material concerning our sustainability work. This report is based mainly on social and environmental issues. The financial issues are addressed in the company annual reports. In the sustainability report, we have applied the relevancy principle and highlighted areas that we think our stakeholders consider important. Here, for example, you can see one of the pages of our latest sustainability report published in April, covering our work for 2021. On this specific page titled Environmental Figures, we are separately reporting on transported volumes, resources consumption, emissions, residual products, wastewater and waste oil, all in figures and comparison to earlier years. As earlier mentioned, the environment is of huge importance for us at Viking Line, and we have done over the years a great deal to minimize the environmental impact of our business. For example, in 80s, we began waste recycling on board the vessels. In 90s, we switched to fuel with lower sulfur content on all our vessels. In 2000s, all the vessels and the main office were certified in compliance with ISO 14001 environmental management standard. In 2010s, more precisely in 2013, Viking Grace, the first passenger vessel of its size to use entirely sulfur-free LNG as fuel, was introduced. And now, in 2022, earlier this year, Viking Glory, the company's second LNG-powered vessel, was delivered to Viking Line. Little bit more about Viking Glory here next. Here some facts about the Viking Glory and which makes her to one of the world's most energy efficient vessels. Recovery of waste heat. Viking Glory was the first in the world to be equipped with steam turbines from the Swedish cleantech company Klimeon. In combination with Klimeon's heat power system, carbon dioxide emissions are expected to be reduced by around 4,000 tons per year. The heat power system harnessed the waste heat from the gases produced in the engine combustion process and converts it to electricity. And when LNG is cooled to minus 162 degrees Celsius to compress the gas into liquid form, the waste heat, or actually the cold, from the fuel is used for the first time to cool down refrigerated counters, cold rooms and other technical areas on board the vessel. Energy recovery leads to reduced fuel consumption and fewer emissions. Azipod propeller system. Viking Glory is the first vessel in its class to be equipped with ABB's Azipod propulsion system. The system makes it easier to maneuver the vessel in the ports, saving both time and, of course, fuel. The world's most efficient engines. The vessel is equipped and powered by 6 highly efficient 31DF dual-fuel engines and several smart systems from Finnish technology group Wärtsilä. And about LNG operations, I'll get that back to you a little bit later in this presentation. And dynamic ventilation and lighting. Some spaces on board the vessel are equipped with sensors to save energy when the spaces are unused. The lights switched off automatically. For the first time, the ship communicates directly also with the reservation system, and the ventilation is automatically set to economy mode for unoccupied cabins. Our company is environmentally certified according to ISO 14001 standard and also ISM certificate. Our environmental work exceeds existing requirements and regulations. 5 of our vessels run on low sulfur fuel. Viking Glory and Viking Grace are powered by LNG. Using LNG reduces emissions of nitrogen approximately 85% and carbon dioxide approximately by 15%. Sulfur and particulate emissions are virtually zero. During the 2008 to 2021, we have succeeded in achieving a total fuel saving of around 30% per nautical mile. During the 2015 and 2021, we have invested over 4 million euros in various fuel optimization projects on our ships. Less fuel used means less emissions, naturally. Environmental figures from our operation during the last year are stated on this picture. All shower water, wastewater from the toilets, village water from the machine room is pumped back on land. This is an example of an environmental friendly measure which goes above and beyond the legal framework. Food waste from Viking Glory, Viking Grace and Viking Express is brought ashore for biogas production. The production of biogas neither increases the CO2 level in the atmosphere nor intensifies the greenhouse effect. Around 95% of our unsorted waste is used for energy recycling in incinerators. All waste that is generated on board is brought ashore and recycled, reused, burnt, placed in landfills or otherwise disposed of. On this next picture you can see some volume figures of the recycled material from the last year from our vessels. Increased recycling reduces our impact on the climate. It takes much less energy to recycle a material than to extract new ones from the nature. Glass, metal, paper, cardboard, carpets and packing plastics are recycled on board. We want to contribute what we do for the cleaner marine environment and have therefore replaced disposable plastic products with biodegradable alternatives when possible. We also work to minimize the risk of waste ending up in the sea. Instead of using harmful paint, Viking Line has divers to scrub the hull of the vessels, done since 1980s. This patent system means that all vegetation that detaches in connection with the brushing is collected in the separate container and taken ashore for further processing. MyCare verified routines, internal requirements, optimized consumption of detergent, microfiber cleaning tools as well as training and follow-up are part of our daily work to ensure efficient and environmentally friendly cleaning routines on board. We have installed water-saving tabs and shower heads in order to reduce the water consumption on board. This reduces the flow of water without affecting the comfort of our passengers. With help of donations from Viking Line, the Tamminen Zoological Station has been able to carry out more research. The station has helped Viking Line to develop children's programs on board with fun experiments and information about the Baltic Sea. So, as you can all see, we have done a lot and we'll keep on investing on the environmental friendly solutions even in the future. Here next I will share with you about our work regarding the carbon dioxide reporting and what it means and why we're doing it. It is about the change in the climate patterns and its impact on the climate itself and the Earth temperature. When burning the fossil fuels like coal or oil or gas, it produces carbon dioxide and nitrous oxide, which worsens the greenhouse effects. When cutting down forest, the trees help to regulate the climate by absorbing CO2 from the atmosphere. When they are cut down, that beneficial effect is lost and the carbon stored in the trees is released into the atmosphere, adding to the greenhouse effect. Regarding the farming the livestock, cows and sheep produce a large amount of methane when they digest their food. When using fertilizers containing nitrogen, which increases the nitrogen oxide emissions. When using fluorinated gases, emissions from these gases have a very strong warming effect, up to 23,000 times greater than CO2. The main driver of climate change is the greenhouse effect. Some gases in the Earth's atmosphere act a bit like the glass in the greenhouse, trapping the sun's heat and stopping it leaking back to the space, and causing therefore the global warming. Carbon dioxide plays a huge role in the global warming. Many of these greenhouse gases occur naturally, but human activity is increasing the concentrations of some of these in the atmosphere. CO2 produced by human activities is the largest contributor to the global warming. By 2020, its concentration in the atmosphere has risen to 48% above its pre-industrial level. The European Union's MRV regulation requires the ship owners and ship operators to annually monitor, report, and verify CO2 emissions for the vessels larger than 5,000 gross ton, calling at any EU and EFTA ports. This MRV regulation came into the force as of 1st January 2018. What can we do to reduce emissions with our own ongoing business? We try to minimize the fuel usage every way possible every day of our business. We try to use environmentally friendly fuels as much as possible to minimize the energy usage in all our operations in order to minimize the usage of fuel. We try to have an optimal capacity usage on every departure. More volume per departure equals less emissions per volume unit, which is wise. And with reporting, we try to increase the awareness of emissions and what the emissions are causing to the atmosphere. In this slide, you can see a theoretical calculation on how does the fuel type affect on the CO2 emission level. The calculation is based on a 25-meter loaded freight unit between Turku and Stockholm and comparing LNG fuel and LPG fuel with MGO in CO2 emission levels. We at Viking Line has taken a step towards LNG with 2 vessels already in traffic and are now planning for our next future steps. We have previously only reported emissions on an annual level, which our clients have then calculated an average emission for their units with the little help of creative imagination. But now we have built up our own reporting system which makes it possible for an accurate emission reporting per each unit on every single departure every day of the year. The accurate emission reported per freight unit, per freight ton or per ton kilometers. Reporting by every departure is important because every trip consumes different amount of fuel. depending on wind and the weather, the load carried aboard, and many other factors. Every departure causes different amount of emissions. Our reporting system is now in trial testing in reality, and with help of some of our loyal clients using the system, we are receiving feedback to make the new system as user-friendly as possible. So we are now moving from the average emission figures to actual figures, giving our clients the possibility on reporting actual CO2 emission on each and every transport for their clients. This enables the client and their clients to make a difference when choosing the transport corridor for their transports. Nowadays, when very many manufacturing industrial companies are investing millions and millions of euros to make their production and products more environmental friendly, why then not even choose a more environmentally friendly way for their transport as well? And then, Lilian, a short summary of the presentation about the three items I have taken up. First, about the company. We have now been on the market for 63 years and working hard every day to be the market's first choice for passenger travel and for the freight transport, even in the future. And then I went into the environmental work, and this work is very important for us at Viking Line in our everyday work, and it is a never-ending task. And then last, I was telling you about our more accurate CO2 reporting, and the question remains, what is the most environmentally friendly transport corridor for your cargo or for your freight unit? Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Harri. That was really, really interesting. I'd ask you to elaborate a little bit more on how you actually use the data that you get from the measurements and how does that affect your decision making at Viking Line?
Very good question, very interesting question. What we have done is that we have collected the information, and the information collected is not for us to use. It's for our clients to use in their processes hopefully towards their clients, the industrial companies, when they are trying to find the most environmental friendly route for their environmental friendly cargo.
Thank you so much, Harri.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. It was nice to be in here.